Hey everyone, it's Candace. Welcome back to my channel. Can you believe it is already the end of September? My goodness. I'm considering myself lucky that I'm still able to sit out on the deck and enjoy this beautiful day because, there have been past years where we've actually had snow on the ground at this time of year. So I'm very grateful that that's not the case. This week's video, since it is the end of the month, I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I read in September, as well as brief reviews of them. And then toward the end of the video, I'd like to let you know about a buddy read that I'm going to be doing with a friend of mine for the month of October. So with that said, let's grab a mug of coffee or tea, and let's take a look at the view of my September reads from my landlocked beach house. Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump right in. Part of the most fun thing for me about reading is being able to discuss books with other people and sharing differing opinions on what we liked, what we didn't like. If the book, which I have one today that falls in this category, that has either had a movie or TV show based off of the book made and I've watched, I like to discuss the differences of those as well. So if you've read any of these books or plan to read them, please feel free to leave your opinions in the comments down below. The first book that I read in September that I'd like to share with you is the book White Fragility, Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism by Robin DiAngelo. This book, I went into it not knowing really what to expect. I'd heard a lot of good things, I heard a lot of bad things. Personally, I found the book very reflective and very eye-opening. I think one of the main points of the book is that white people in general, they don't appreciate being categorized or generalized into different things or different categories. They all want to be treated as individuals. So why is it so wrong for other people or people of other races to want the same things? It also goes over some of the just sort of off-the-cuff answers that people tend to give to explain why they're not racist, like, oh, well, I know black people, or there's a black person in my family, or something to that effect. And that while those things may be true, it's not an automatic pass that you're not a racist or that you don't make racist comments. This was a good book. It was very eye-opening for me, very self-reflective, and I think it's a good point to begin conversation, to begin making the changes that are so desperately needed right now. So I would give this one 3 out of 5 stars. It does sort of start a little disjointed, and when I say that, I guess I feel like the author of the book had to do a lot of justification for why she was writing what she was writing. Like, I'm not saying white people are this, and I'm not saying this means this, but, and then go on with an explanation. But once it got to the point, it was very good. I enjoyed it. The second book I read, I actually don't have my copy here to share with you. I lent it to a friend, but it is called Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. It is the story of Anna, who is an agoraphobic. She also is very fond of wine and prescription pills. Anna being an agoraphobic, she has to find ways to entertain herself. And one day, while she's watching her neighbors, she witnesses a murder. So it's sort of the story of her coming to this discovery and the help that she tries to get to solve the crime, because she gets some conflicting information from different neighbors, the police, that sort of thing. It's a very, very fast moving book. I read it in about the course of a week, maybe a little less. It really grabbed my attention, and there is scheduled to be, or there is a movie by the same title. I believe it's coming out in 2021, and I'm anxious to see what they do with it. I'm one of those people that most of the time the book is better than the movie for me, because I have a very vivid visualization style when I'm reading the book, that I kind of make the scenery and the pictures and the characters and that sort of thing in my head. So I'll be interested to see what they do with it. But once again, that is Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Okay, the next book I have for you was actually a TV show, and that's where I found out about it first, on Hulu. It is The Handmaid's Tale. The book was written by Margaret Atwood, and the TV series was actually loosely, very, very loosely based on this book. Character names are basically the same, but events are different. Character descriptions are different than they are in the series, and the series takes things in a different order than the book does, and it adds quite a number of elements that aren't in the book. There is a sequel to this book. It's called The Testaments. I don't know if that goes further and follows, provided more of the information or the basis for the show. I will probably pick it up and read it at some point. This book, it was originally written as described as by Margaret Atwood in the introduction as satire. I think at the current state of our country, I can definitely see that this isn't so off. I mean, I could see something like this happening, which is actually pretty terrifying. But again, I try to read it from a fun perspective, and not as a cautionary tale, if that makes sense. I apologize, my neighbor dogs are barking. So I would recommend this. It's a good read. It's another fast read, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So those are actually the books that I read during the month of September. I think in the year 2019 I read all of 2 books completely, and I'm up to 10 so far this year, so I think I'm doing okay. I have a goal. I did the Goodreads reading challenge for the year, and I set myself a goal of 12 books this year, so I may even surpass it, but I'm pretty excited because I definitely wanted to make reading a bigger priority than it was, and I feel like I'm succeeding at that. So for our buddy read for the month of October, my friend Lacey Elizabeth over at the channel Lacey Elizabeth and I are going to be reading Stephen King's Different Seasons. If you haven't heard of this book, you will definitely have heard of at least 2 of the 4 stories in this book. They've been made into quite popular movies. The first one, the story is titled Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. The movie is The Shawshank Redemption. The second story in the book is called Apt Pupil. There is also a movie by that title. It's a little less known than the others. And then the third story in this book is called The Body, and it was actually the basis for the movie Stand By Me. There is a fourth story in this book. It is called The Breathing Method. It's very unusual. I'm not going to spoil anything for you right now. This is rather a large book, but it reads very quickly. And the stories are each very good in and of themselves. So I would recommend this. Lacey and I, like I said, are going to be reading this during the month of October. And then we are going to have a buddy review and discussion, which we will put up live on Saturday, October 31st. If you are interested in this reading, in this buddy read, you can let us know. You can either leave your information in the comments below or find us on Instagram. I will leave our Instagram pages, handles in the description box below, so you can get a hold of us and let us know that you're interested, and then we'd love to have you join in the discussion. Well, that is what I have for you this week. I hope you've enjoyed this review of my September reads, and I hope you will consider joining in to our buddy read of Stephen King's different seasons. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.